Now it's time for Lefties losing it. And don't we have a treat coming up for you? The lunacy at Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearing. You won't want to miss the incoherent meltdowns. But first to this lefty who is reinventing the gender wheel, claiming the sex of a baby on an ultrasound can't possibly be right.
The parts you see on an ultrasound don't determine a baby's gender. And how is that possible? Well, think about it like this marker. A blue cap usually means a blue marker, but sometimes marker caps get switched, and in this case, it is a pink marker. See, that's what happened to me. They saw something on the ultrasound that usually means it's a boy, but the cap was cap, and I turned out to be a girl.
Oh, it's all very lucrative now using Crayola pens to determine gender. Who's going to tell him that swapping caps makes no difference to the parts you're born with? But cute try, very cute, very sweet. Now to Donald Trump's impending inauguration. Can't come soon enough. And he's picked to perform America the Beautiful, Carrie Underwood. And the news has truly shattered and destroyed the has-been hyenas over at The View. In fact, it's yet another hard knock for them.
I wouldn't do it, even though I can't sing. You would not sing? No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
And have we heard from Sonny Austin yet? A smiley, true delight of a woman.
I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, thank goodness we clarified that one. We were losing sleep. We wanted to know the answer to that, and no doubt Sonny's announcement would come as to a shock to Donald Trump himself. And it's not just The View. This is the worst day of the feminist cult's lives.
Carrie Underwood is going to perform at Trump's inauguration.
Now to Gavin Newsom, the hapless and hopeless California governor who is really living up to his name as a slimy used car salesman. Can someone please explain the shoulder shimmy?
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties.
How's that? A little smile, a little shimmy, a little dance, manicured hair, fresh Botox. A real man of the people in the middle of a fire zone, isn't he? And here he is again, showing just how personable he is.
My humble position, and it's not just being naively optimistic, that only reinforces the imperative of moving quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation.
He's overstimulated, perhaps taking California dreaming way too far. And never mind Gavin Newsom's failures to prepare the state for fires, because you can always trust Whoopi Goldberg to give the best possible explanation.
Here's how this works. There was a fire catastrophe in California. Had to do with winds. You know how they're always saying, oh, the wind. It actually does. The winds move things and sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have if 900,000 buildings go up at the same time.
Wow, how was that? It is good to know that Whoopi is such an expert on wind. And speaking of loony explanations,
I want to take a minute to talk about looting, because I think it's worth considering why people would run into an active fire to steal stuff rather than fleeing the fire. And it seems like in the media coverage that I'm listening to that people think that people are just like greedy who want to be looting. And I'm just wondering if maybe these people have actually considered whether it is safer for them to run into a fire or to continue to exist within capitalism without access to resources. And after weighing the pros and cons, they concluded that the safer option is to run into the fire to steal stuff.
Yes, that absolutely makes total sense. Total sense, doesn't it? Now to Pete Hegseth being hounded by bitter banshees at a Senate committee. And I've got to say, this basically just sums it up.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Veterans organizations that will help our veterans get every damn thing that they deserve because they signed on the dotted line to keep us safe.
Says it all, isn't it? But, you know, look, it wouldn't be a Lefties losing it without actually taking you through the Lefties losing it. So let's start with Elizabeth Warren, the delightful Elizabeth Warren, banging and carrying on.
In other words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
Uh-oh, the gotcha didn't quite work there. And the yelling theatrical sideshow didn't end there.
In the DOD, everything you've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women, I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal. I mean, you're basically saying women after they have children can't ever serve in the military in a combat role. It's a silly thing to say. It's a silly thing to say, beneath the position that you are aspiring to. To denigrate LGBTQ service members is a mistake. If you are a sharpshooter, you're as lethal regardless of what your gender identity is, regardless of who you love.
And it just doesn't end there. It didn't end there because cue what appeared to be a drunk and incoherent Mazie Hirono from Hawaii.
Would you use our military to take over Greenland or an ally of Denmark?
Senator, one of the things that President Trump is so good at is never strategically tipping his hand. And so I would never in this public forum give one way or another direct what orders the president would give me in any context.
That sounds to me that you would contemplate carrying out such an order to basically invade Greenland and take over the Panama Canal.
Yes, they really brought the big ones out from Hawaii for this one, didn't they? And then the Democrats' tragic attempt at a gotcha moment backfired yet again.
Can you give me an experience or your actual experience of driving innovation in an organization? Give me an example of where you have done that.
Oh my goodness, Senator, absolutely. At Concerned Veterans for America, we created the Fixing Veterans Healthcare Task Force, a bipartisan task force that never been done before to create policy, to drive policy change on Capitol Hill that organizations fought ferociously against. We got the VA Accountability Act passed and the Mission Act passed in a way that a nonprofit of our size, veterans organization, has never done. And that's testified in all the letters that we put forward to the committee, which are on the record.
I have limited time.